In today's video we will discuss the top 10 college upsets that rocked the entire sports world. Please make sure you subscribe to the Top 10 Jaw-Dropping Facts channel. New episodes are released Monday through Friday. Number 10. Stony Brook vs. Central Florida, 2007. Sometimes teams are much stronger than the media depicts them. That was the case in Stony Brook's situation in the Coral Gables Regional. They seemingly came from nowhere to beat Central Florida 4-1 in style. Nobody expected the Seawolves to beat the likes of LSU or Miami, but they did. Of course, their roster was stronger than a lot of people realized with the likes of Travis Jankowski. But they still had to do their business, and it was one of the biggest upsets in college baseball history when they won. Sometimes smaller teams deserve more respect. Number 9. Howard vs. UNLV, 2017. Howard came into this game against the Rebels as a staggering 45-point underdog. Meanwhile, ESPN gave the Bison just a 1.2% chance of winning. But the Bison overturned the tables in a rousing and unlikely victory. This game was also notable because of Kailyn Newton's inspirational performance. The brother of NFL star Cam was electrifying as he rushed for 190 yards with 2 touchdowns and 21 carries. Howard was behind by 12 points in the third quarter, but they rallied impressively. They put another 22 on the board to secure a brilliant win as they made history. Number 8. Davidson vs. UNC, 2017. Baseball throws up the odd Cinderella story. This was definitely one of them because Davidson didn't belong on the same field as number 2 seed North Carolina. They only had 3 scholarships on their entire roster against one of the strongest programs in the nation. Despite this, they overcame the odds to beat their highly favored opponents. They pulled off the most shocking of upsets as they won the Chapel Hill Regional in nail-biting fashion. After barely scraping a place in the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament, they made sure America knew their names. Number 7. Auburn vs. Alabama, 2013. Two of the biggest rivals faced each other in the Iron Bowl. While they are both football powerhouses, the Crimson Tide traditionally has the edge over the Tigers. Even though they're both strong teams, Auburn pulled off one of the most incredible upsets at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Alabama should have killed them off with a 57-yard field goal, but it fell short. Then, the Tigers' Chris Davis caught the ball and charged upfield. Miraculously, he scored the game-winning touchdown as he ran for over 100 yards. This was a sensational moment, yet the Crimson Tide should never have allowed it. Number 6. Middle Tennessee vs. Michigan State, 2017. They call it March Madness for a reason. Middle Tennessee brought this to the next level against the Spartans in 2017. Michigan State was the second favorites to win the entire tournament. But the Blue Raiders sent them home early in one of NCAA basketball's biggest upsets ever. Tom Izzo was one of the most experienced coaches in the sport, but he couldn't save his team from humiliation. The number 15 seeds won 90-81 and upset gamblers all across the world. However, they instilled joy in the hearts of every watching neutral, because this is what fans love to see. Number 5. Temple vs. Virginia Tech, 1998. It's still crazy that Temple defeated Virginia Tech in this massive Big East upset. The Owls had one of the weakest rosters in the country, but still managed to overcome the Hokies. There was no reason to believe that Virginia Tech would lose this game, as they were riding a 5-0 unbeaten run. Meanwhile, lowly Temple was down to their bare bones. After a spate of injuries, third-choice QB Devon Scott started. However, the freshman had a day to remember as he inspired Temple to victory. The Owls claimed the title after putting Virginia Tech back in their place. Number 4. Umbc vs. University of Virginia, 2018. Everybody took it for granted that Virginia had this game in the bag. However, the Hoos proceeded to suffer a chaotic meltdown in front of the entire nation. UMBC rattled their foes and overcame the 20.5 favorites. Insanely, UMBC was the 168th ranked team in the U.S. on KenPom. They also suffered some embarrassing and crushing losses earlier in the season. But they rocked Virginia to become the first number 16 seed to beat a number 1 seed. This shouldn't have happened because of the difference in scale between their programs. In the end, magic happened and the Retrievers won 75-54. Number 3. Stanford vs. USC, 2007. Stanford put up a big performance against the Trojans to end USC's 35-game home winning record. This shouldn't have happened because Stanford hadn't had a winning season in 7 years. Meanwhile, they came into this game with a record of 1-3. But they pulled off a miraculous 24-23 win against the 41-point favorites. USC ran into Stanford again in 2021 when they suffered a crushing 42-28 loss. Stanford also came into this game on a losing run but crushed their powerhouse rivals. They're the definition of a bogey team. Number 2. Villanova vs. Georgetown, 1985. Villanova didn't have a hope of beating Patrick Ewing's Georgetown in 1985. The schools met for the third time that year in NCAA final. Georgetown had already crushed their rivals twice earlier in the season. But Villanova was out for revenge in one of the most stunning NCAA upsets ever. They fought hard against the Hoyas with a stunning 79% accuracy rating from the field. This was crucial because Georgetown outshot the Wildcats 53-28. Meanwhile, Ewing played well but Villanova didn't give in. In the end, they held out for a glorious and unlikely 66-64 victory. Number 1. Appalachian State vs. Michigan, 2007. The game that Sports Illustrated called the greatest upset of them all. They're absolutely right because this was a wild game of football. The prestigious Michigan program paid Appalachian State $400,000 to play an opening day game. But nobody expected the FBS heavyweights to receive one of the biggest upsets ever. That's exactly what happened because the tiny North Carolina school came out strong. Quarterback Armonte Edwards had a career-defining game as the Mountaineers won 34-32. Remember, none of the Appalachian players would have even made the Michigan roster. What a stunning victory this was. I hope you enjoyed our top 10 college upsets that rocked the entire sports world. Please leave a comment below for any upset you think we missed or you think should have been placed on the list. Don't forget to subscribe to the Top 10 Jaw-Dropping Facts channel. And new episodes come out every Monday through Friday.